With Luis Buscape Palomino, who is no longer now with American Top Team. Last time I spoke to you, you were in the Coconut Creek Training Center, but now you're back home, as you like to say, MMA Masters in Miami. Tell us about the transition going from ATT to MMA Masters, returning back home.
Well, the transition was all about making new moves, new changes. We had some personal differences with my coaches too, the attitude of things. No hard feelings nowhere in the end. We always kept contact. But I would say that everything defined itself when I was sitting in the locker room. I mean, the camp at ATT was great. As you can see in the Robert Washington fight, I was physically prepared, mentally focused, and I had a great corner. Everything went great. But the feeling of being in the locker room and the new friends that I made in ATT and my old friends from MMA Masters and everybody fighting each other, and it's like you can't even show emotion, you can't root for nobody. It's like it's too many mixed feelings, and it just didn't feel right, man. It didn't feel right, and in the end, these people I've been training with years, 6 years into this game already, and they're basically it's like a family orientation, like they're like brothers, older brothers, smaller brothers, and I just wanted to come back to that family unit,
You came back at CFA 11, and you were in the locker room about to head to the cage, and you saw your other MMA Masters brothers. Did you tell yourself, gosh, it's like my brother, I got upset, but we got to fix things up here, and I got to go back home? Was it that type of feeling?
Yeah, the same, it's like I said, it's mixed feelings, because at the same time, they were fighting with guys that treat me really good in ATT, Ayuto Barboza, Jake, there was a couple other guys there, but it was guys that I made good friends with, and they were great guys, very humble, hardworking fighters. It's the same thing, man. Only difference is that all the years that I spent training with my other guys here, it made things weird, So, it was weird. It was just a weird feeling, man. I don't want to really go through that again.
It's almost like getting in an argument with your mom. You can never, you get mad, but you fix things.
Yeah. Like I said, I had my differences with my coaches, and it was mostly business related, and it was nothing big, It was very small, stuff that we've talked over, and things are great now. I think things are going to be better than ever. I was the first fighter that came out of MMA Masters. We have great guys here. We have great training partners. The coaching level is, at its best. And like I said, at ATT, it was great coaching, great partners. It took a while to blend in. It took a while, of course, man. I've been fighting against ATT how long? I fought 4 of them before I came into the camp. You know what I mean? So there was always going to be that little thing against Baboon, for a while. And I think I earned my respects in there. And I didn't come in trying to prove anything to anybody. I just came in trying to work. And a lot of people, ended up accepting me. Some others just, they had their own feelings about it. But in the end, everything went in good. The coaches treated me great. I want to take the opportunity to thank Dan Lambert for taking me in, Coach Liborio, Coach Conan, Coach Daya, Coach Mike Brown, that also cornered me. All the guys that helped. Coach Everton, the conditioning coach Everton, and Coach Brian, because I had 2 conditioning coaches. I had like 2 of them. I was working with both of them. So, and all the guys that helped me with the sparring, the training, the wrestling coach, big thanks to everybody, I just feel at home here, just where I started, and I feel like it was just time to come back,
Do you find yourself, though, sometimes that if you ever just need to go spice something up, a special tool, you can go back to ATT and say, hey, guys, I just need to work on this or that. They'll welcome you?
Well, I spoke to Coach Conan, and I spoke to Dan Lambert, and they were all, like, we completely understand what's going on, and, they basically told me that I had open doors over there, I mean, there is no, there's no feelings in this, there's nothing bad. It's just, you make decisions, you make changes, and, that's what makes us human, you make a choice, and sometimes you want to go back and say, oh, well, I think I'm better off over here. In the end, I don't see anything. There's no negative energy in either side. I don't see why I wouldn't be able to go sometime, get some sparring in or something, who knows, I'm here for now.
Do you think now, because of this, there's always that talk about the ATT versus MMA Masters, but there seems not to be a more mutual respect?
I believe so, man. I think something big happened over there in the fight in CFA 11 in the George Washington fight, because I could always hear the crowd screaming my name. And I'm a hometown fighter. I have a big following here in Florida, so it's always great to hear everybody shouting. But this one fight, man, it was louder than ever because it was, ATT brings a big following too. They have a lot of fighters, they come into and they have a lot of people that follow them. So it's always like the main faces there is going to be always MMA Masters and the ATT group and their followers, So it was like, it was always, in some of the fights, especially when I was fighting against ATT, it would be like the shouts between the MMA Masters fans and the group, and the shouts, the boos from the MMA, from the American Top Teams fans, And at this time, it all synchronized into like just one big shout, and I heard it live, I think it made a big difference, man.
Well, I'm sure it'll make a big difference when you fight Luiz Buscape Firmino, because I'm sure ATT and MMA Masters don't get along with the Blackzilians.
Yeah, I think that there's also a lot of mixed feelings over there, because there are still some guys that are friends with, that I actually work with, that are friends with Buscape, because there's a lot of guys in Blackzilians that came out of ATT. So I felt what they feel, and yeah, in the end, most of them, they don't have the greatest feelings for Blackzilians.
So as of right now, the contract has not been signed between you and Buscape. You're still awaiting a contract, a signing, but it seems like it's going to happen in August.
Yes, I knew that it was going to be a problem getting this rematch, even though CEO of CFA, George Noval, told me, look, Baboon, you win this fight decisively, you can get your rematch. And I knocked George Washington out in the first round, within the first 4 minutes. That's as decisive as it gets. I earned my title shot. I don't think anybody else on the CFA roster deserves the title shot more than I do. I gave, just like CFA gave me the opportunity to fight great names, I fought. Well, this is what the way I see it. While everybody in CFA in the 155 division and 145 division are fighting each other in the roster, I wasn't fighting the guys in the roster. I was fighting the guys that were flying in. The guys that just came out of UFC or Strikeforce, like Jesse Cavalcante, Crazy Horse, the bigger names. It was the deal that I had with CFA when I signed the 6-5 deal. I said, hey, you bring me, the highest names that you can get, the biggest names that you can afford, and that's what I want to fight. If you can ever say that Baboon never pick fights, okay, I pick fights. I pick the hardest. That's how it was. I've never ducked fights. If you can say that Baboon picked the fight, I picked to fight talent, the highest talent out there, to bring my name out there. And CFA did. They came true, and we did this. I lost my title shot. I was in the biggest change of camps. I didn't commit to ATT. I did everything on my own. I did things wrong, and things are going to be different. I'm back at home, and I knew that it was going to be difficult to get this fight with Buscape because he was ducking me. You could say that. I can tell you that all day. Buscape was trying to hide the whole entire time, from this fight. And I made it as public as I can make it through social media, Instagrams, Twitter, Facebook, and I kept firing at him, firing until the point that he actually answered, and he gave me a call. he actually gave me a call to my phone. And I'm like, okay, all right, blah, 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 and with all the screaming, all the shouting, all that. I was like, look, man, just sign the contract, send it, let's do this. Blah, 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 sign the contract, send it, let's do this. Okay, the winner takes all. I said, all right, sign the contract, send it. To this day, I haven't gotten my contract. The fans from then on took over. The fans started contacting CFA and tagging CFA and Buscape and be like, why is this fight not happening? What's going on? And I think it got so loud to the point where, okay, George Noval and Lázaro got in touch with the Blackzilian camp, and I guess they worked it over. And winner takes all, man. I mean, how much better can it get? Who's going to sell more than this?
Palomino, I got to ask you one thing. I think out of all the professional MMA fighters here in Florida, you're probably one of the most interactive ones, because not only do you get in heated battles inside the cage, but also on social media, you talk back to critics. I saw a lot of these guys, you were reaching out to them and talking back. Tell me about that, man. And there's a lot of fighters that say, I don't want to invest my time in social media because it doesn't it takes my focus away from my training. But I think in your end, it's the opposite way.
Yeah, I think it spices things up, as far as sales, But yeah, man, critics. If you're just a fan, like there was a lady on one of the comments. She commented her opinion, and she was against me. That's her opinion, and I said that. Look, okay, respect. That's your opinion. You're rooting for the guy. Okay, cool. Then there's like a duck. I call them ducks. It was like a sitting duck that comes and says, "Oh, I think the first fight was pretty decisive. Why give him another title shot?" In a personal level, there's a guy that was trying to sign me, a manager, and I didn't want to sign with him. And in that time, excuse the language, but he was kissing my ass, and all over, oh, ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Now I don't sign with him. We don't talk for months, whatever. And now you're gonna have all these things to say against me, Go mess with somebody else, man. I'm gonna expose you, man. If you're somebody that's putting out your opinion, as a fan, as a fighter, promoter, whatever, I'll respect it, bro. Everybody has, their own opinion to say, If you're going to come and speak out of hatred and a bad business turnout, then I'm going to expose you, man. Simple as that.
My last question, right before this things get signed, what message do you have to deliver to fans out there and to your future possible opponent, Luiz Buscape Firmino?
Oh, so the fans out there, you know how I do, man. I come in for blood. I always come out for the kill. I always come out looking for a knockout, even when it costs me fights. Like I've said before, I'm not your typical undefeated guy. Nah. I have 8 losses in my record, but I'll guarantee you one thing, man. When you watch me fight, you're gonna have a great time. I bring excitement to every single fight, and I always go for the finish. And to Buscape, you didn't fight not even 50% of me, man. My mind was completely in different places. My body was not prepared for the type of fight, as prepared as you were, But the fight's on. All the pressure's on you. All the pressure's on you because you don't want to take this fight. You could only beat me once out of 10, and that time is past, man. And this fight's gonna be a knockout.